Hello and welcome to episode 110 of Levels Plus Whenever with the moody lighting because it's late Friday afternoon. Arguably evening at this point. We've got a doozy of an episode today. I'm going to go through all of the Capcom games I've played and sort them into a top 25. And because it was convenient and easy, we're doing it for Nintendo too. So my top 25 Capcom and Nintendo games. But first, we've got some pickups to go through. So to start us off, I've got the Splatoon 3 additional Squid Sisters and Off the Hook amiibo, because if you're going to make amiibo of Splatoon, I am contractually obligated to acquire them at post-haste. I also got 2 games. So I got Euphoria 2. I am so excited to play this. In fact, I think that's what I've been wanting to play for months. As well as the Miles Edgeworth collection. We've got 100 Capcom games that I have played enough of that I have an opinion on. I was a little over. I cut a few that I have played, but I didn't feel like I had enough to say about why I would cut them from a top 100 list or not. There's quite a few games on here I don't like, just by the nature of I grabbed practically every Capcom game I had played. And what we're going to do is take this list of 100 games and we're going to come to a consensus on my opinion of what the top 25 Capcom games are of all time. And of course, this is my opinion, so it is nothing I am proclaiming as set in stone. These are just the 25 games I like the most. So, I want to go ahead and start eliminating things real quick that I know are not going to have any reason to stay on this list any longer than they already are. So, let's go ahead and grab We Love Golf, a very, very poor Camelot developed golf game. Gold Medal Challenge, another Capcom attempt at sports that didn't work very well. Yeah, we might as well just trifecta it and let's see if I can figure out where Sports Club went for the same reason. We'll move Willow and Quiz in. Well, Quiz and Dragons just disappeared, but you know what? It wasn't gonna make it. It wasn't gonna make it up there. Oh, I have Street Fighter on here twice. Well, neither of them are staying. I suppose one of the games I did cut was Street Fighter 2010, and out of the ones that I did cut, that probably would make the most sense for me to remove. So we'll just say Street Fighter 2010 was on this list instead of Street Fighter twice. Apparently, I just have that much disdain for Street Fighter, I wanted to kick it off of here 2 times. Trojan, I don't like. Avenger, I really don't like. Both of those were bottom 25 games for me at a period in time. The Arcade Bionic Commando really pales in comparison to these two, so it can go. Mega Man and Bass is absolutely atrocious, probably the worst Mega Man game. That can go. I really don't like Mega Man 9, and I really don't like Mega Man 5. To be real, CBS is good, but it pales in comparison to its sequel. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I have complained so much. Another bottom 25. That can go. Infinite can also go. Just missing a heart, really. I don't like Super Street Fighter 4. That can go out. I think that Third Strike is the definitive Street Fighter 3, so New Generation and Second Impact can go out. Do we need all the Street Fighter 2s? Probably not. And if I were to pick, like, 2 to represent them, it would be OG and probably, out of the ones I played, probably Turbo. Not gonna lie, I think Super Turbo has some pretty gnarly, gameplay for North America. A 6 is just RE6. Well, I'm surprised I kept it here that long. I probably just didn't see it. Both the RE3s, I think they underperform for me. Mega Man The Wily Wars is fine, but it is not as good as the original 6. DuckTales 2, I think, is a really pale sequel in contrast to the original. I don't really care for the Beautiful Joe games that much, especially 2. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Maximo here is not my thing. I didn't enjoy it that much. I'm going to be honest, these Ghost and Goblin games are so hard that it's hard for me to enjoy any of them. So that entire series is out. If I'm going to keep a Devil May Cry, it's 3. The 1942 and 43 didn't do a whole lot for me. Block is just Arkanoid with a lot of the charm missing. Vulgus is very simple. Warriors of Fate is probably the most disappointing Capcom game I've played in the last couple years. Tiger Road isn't really that exciting for me. I didn't like Monster Hunter Tri. Speed Rumbler is not a good example of what Capcom's capable of. Okay, after some reorg, we are now at 92. So plenty more to cut from the list. Alright, I'm looking at all the Marvel. So much Marvel. I feel like there might be a little bit too much Marvel. So, I think out of X-Men and Marvel Superheroes that X-Men is the more interesting game. So that's the one I'm going to ultimately keep for now. RE5 can go, and Revelations can go. Code Veronica might make it to a top 50. I'll have to see how I feel. Mighty Final Fight can go. I don't think it's that good of a game, personally. Let's look at all the arcade stuff, because there's a lot of it. So, we have Commando, Mercs, Strider, original Strider. I think these all have a chance. Magic Sword's pretty neat. I don't think Mega Twins is going to make it. I don't think Higa Maru's going to make it. Battle Circuit, maybe. Captain Commando, maybe. Armored Warriors, absolutely. Eco Fighters, maybe. Forgotten Worlds is a maybe. I don't think Section Z or Dynasty Wars or Legendary Wings. I like Black Tiger enough to consider it. I don't think Three Wonders is going to make it. I don't think Sun's going to make it. I don't think Gunsmoke is going to make it, or Savage Bees. Both of those are a maybe. Okay, that was some good elimination there. I'm going to slide Devil May Cry up here just to make sorting slightly easier for me. So let's see here. Destiny of an Emperor is probably not the top 50. I don't think Willow is as cool as it is. DuckTales Remastered is not as good as the original, and I don't think Chip and Dale is good enough to continue the fight. The NES Strider, while fascinating, is just a little bit too janky, I think, to continue to be a part of this. Oh, let's see. Mega Man 1 and 4. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Power Battle out as well. Village 2 and Code Veronica. These are the 5 that I think that matter. Commando, Mercs, Forgotten Worlds, UN Squadron, the original Gargoyles Quest, personally, because I'm not the biggest fighting game fan, Puzzle Fighter 2. I don't think a lot of people would be cutting it, but I am. Another controversial choice. I played Alpha a lot in the arcades, and I bought Alpha 3 for the Dreamcast and played that a ton. Alpha 2 is the one that I've got the least exposure to. And while I think it's better than Alpha, I don't have the memories of it as strong. And it's my list. I think the original Power Stone is better than Power Stone 2. There's Ace Attorney games. I'm looking at all 7 of them, and they're all still here. I haven't cut a single one yet. Let's do the first cut of Dual Destinies. I think that's the weakest of the original, or the Phoenix Wright set. I can't cut Justice for All because of Francisca. I love her too much as a character. That's her game. Even if there's a case in there that's probably the worst case in the entire series, it has nothing to do with her. I'm going to take Trials out, though, because Godot, on watching other people play it recently, he is such a jerk and a misogynist. So I think those will be the 5 that stay for now. Let me clean this up. Okay, we are now at 59. So just 9 more to go till we get to our top 50. I'm just kind of doing a quick scan here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take Carrier Air Wing. That's the first one that jumps out at me as one that I don't think is in consideration for a top 50 game. These are 3 really good beat-em-ups, but of the 3, I think Captain Commando might be the weakest, because this one is just bananas, and this one is like secretly Capcom's best beat-em-up presentation-wise. So sorry, Cap. Breath of Fire 2, I have played the most of out of the 5, and I think the localization is doing it no favors, unfortunately. Cannon Spike, I enjoy this game, but I no longer have it, and that's probably a good enough indicator that I probably don't need to include it. And unfortunately, that's the same deal with Techromancer. Red Earth is a really beautiful game, but I think its biggest problem is that it only has 4 playable characters. Super Gym Fighter, adorable, really cute. But I think that out of all of the fighting games, it's one of the least combo ready. And there's just stuff that you would like to link together, but you can't. And it makes it a little frustrating to play. Gargoyle's Quest 2, I said this in the NES video. I don't remember hardly anything about it. It's not a great sign, especially when you're trying to consider what Capcom's 50 best games are. And as much as I like Alpha, I think that's the one that needs to go. I've even arranged the games that are in the top 111 already. Came to a realization, though. I realized that Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is the next game I'm going to take off of that list. I've been trying to get back into it recently. It's just not clicking for me for whatever reason. But I left it at 18 here. Since it's the first game dropping off of the list. So, my top 18 is Resident Evil 4 Remake, Bionic Commando, NES, Mega Man 3, Ghost Trick, Capcom vs. SNK 2, Street Fighter 6, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Apollo Justice, Okami, Strider 2014, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Mega Man 2, Mega Man X, Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice, Project Justice, Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen, and then Ultimate Marvel 3. So that doesn't leave us a whole lot of room to slide in the rest of the top 25. So let's go ahead. There's 2 games that I could immediately think of that are going to go into 19 and 20. And that is original RE4 and original RE2. They were both in my top 111 until the remakes came out, but I think both of them deserve to remain here. And I'm even going to put them both over Marvel 3 because I think they deserve it. Out of the rest of these, we've got 5 slots. So I think what I'm going to do, kind of what I did last time is, at least last time as in the NES list, is I want to take out 20 of them, and then we'll narrow it down, and we'll figure out which ones make the most sense. So, games that I know I want to eliminate. Zack and Wiki, and Magic Sword, and Battle Circuit, Final Fight, Eco Fighters, the original arcade Strider, I think Strider 2, Black Tiger, Rock Band 2, The Power Fighters, and probably Justice for All. So that's 1 row down. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Power Stone and Cyberbots, X-Patrol of the Atom, Darkstalkers 3, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, Investigations probably. Just helping myself see here. Devil May Cry 3 for me personally. Out of these 2, I'm going to pick Mega Man 6. And I do want to keep DuckTales. I'm going to take X-Men vs. Street Fighter out for now. Because I haven't played it in forever. And I like Marvel vs. Capcom a lot more. Alright, so now that we're at 30... got to figure out how to get this down to 25. So, I think what I'm going to do here... I'm going to start off with Demon's Crest, which I think is a phenomenal game that is very underrated. Has a bit of a bad reputation, but I think it's extremely good. I think Third Strike deserves to be here as well. Most people would probably place it higher, especially if you are into fighting games, but I have my fighting game preferences. And this is not as high as the others above it, for me personally. And I gotta give it to Marvel vs. Capcom Original as well, because that game meant so much to me as a kid, as a teen. Getting my Dreamcast was primarily for that game, and that game alone. That's why I'm so excited about this silly collection. So, here's where I'm at. I want to put Street Fighter 2 kind of in the honorary 25th spot, because Street Fighter 2 was a game that, when I was growing up, was like the big deal. And I never really got a chance to own it on Super Nintendo, because I never had one when the 16-bit wars were happening. So it's important to me on a very profound, I want to know more about Street Fighter. It set the bar basically for me being into Capcom fighting games. And while it wasn't the one that taught me how to play them, it was the one that got me into them in the first place. So I think it kind of deserves that honorary spot. I'm going to go ahead and take some out, which is Mega Man 6. I think Armored Warriors. The original Phoenix Wright. And that will leave us with 3 contenders for number 24. And I'm going to probably surprise you by not picking Resident Evil Remake. As good as it is, it took me a long time to get into that game, and now I do appreciate it a lot. I think it's a great game. I don't think it's the one I'm going to pick. I'm also not picking DuckTales. As great of a licensed game as it is, I don't think it deserves to be in this list more than the Game Boy Bionic Commando. Okay, Bionic Commando, Game Boy. Very good game. Probably a top 3 Game Boy game for me. And I think that it deserves to be in this top 25. So here it is. My top 25 Capcom games of all time as of August 2024. I guess while we're here, it'd be interesting to see, like, what my favorite franchise of Capcom's is. I have... We'll start with RE. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 RE games. 1, 2, 3, 4 Street Fighter games, so they're tied. There's 1, 2, 3 Versus games. There's 3 Mega Mans, 2 Ace Attorneys, 2 Bionic Commandos. Out of Street Fighter and out of Resident Evil, I mean, I've got 2 of each in the top 10, but Resident Evil 4 is the greatest Capcom game ever made, in my opinion. So I guess I'll have to give the edge to RE4 and the Resident Evil franchise as my favorite Capcom. Yeah, I think I do, because RE4's here, RE2 is 8th, and then I've got 2 more Resident Evils ahead of the other 2 Street Fighters. So yeah, I think it makes sense. I think in terms of points, if I were to do points, it would have the edge. Which doesn't surprise me. I've always been super into Resident Evil. I haven't done a Street Fighter retrospective, but I have done an RE retrospective. So, all right. Well, this was fun. I'm enjoying doing these and coming up with some different angles. I hope you're enjoying them too. While we're on the company topic, and they're so dominant on my top 111 list already, I just pulled out the top 25 Nintendo games into just a very easy to read list. Super Metroid, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Hotel Dusk, Metroid Dread, Splatoon 3, Earthbound, Smash Ultimate, Nethercode Recollection, The Last Story, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario 64, Fire Emblem Echoes, Metroid Prime, Legend of Zelda, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Mario Odyssey, Metroid Zero Mission, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, Mario 3, Kirby's Adventure, Fire Emblem 7, the Blazing Blade, I think. I get them mixed up. It might be Binding. Just the one that was Fire Emblem for North America. Mario Brothers Wonder and Mario RPG Remake are my top 25 Nintendo games. A lot of Switch games. And that's going to probably be the next console list, because just looking at this, I'm like, wow, there's already a bunch here. But I just figured that, going through Capcom, I didn't have all of the list already figured out. So it was just kind of fun to take it from that 100 to narrow it down. But with Nintendo, Nintendo's my favorite game publisher and developer. And it's like, there was already like another 10, I think, on the top 111, if not more, that continued from here. And I was just like, let's just throw this in at the end of the Capcom video, and then it's done. I don't have to think about it anymore. All right, that's that. Now you know what I think Capcom and Nintendo's best games of all time are. Episode 111 is around the corner. That's my lucky number. So we've got a doozy of a topic. It's one that has been covered frequently on this show. It'll be the last time I cover it for a long while. But I hope that you will look forward to a deep dive into what I would love Smash Bros. 6 to look like. Yep, that's it. That's what it'll be. I'm telling you now. So you can look forward to it in the next weekish or so. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful set of days until we see each other again. Take care.